Here are some things to consider when picking your location for your paranormal investigations. Hello everybody and welcome along to another Truths Collective Plus video. I'm your host Damon Penn, paranormal investigator, and here we deep dive into the world of paranormal investigation in search for the truth that's beyond. Today we'll be looking at how you pick your location, how location affects your paranormal investigations. Now also, if you like the content that we're putting out, the vlogs, the tips and tricks, the reviews that we're doing, please like and subscribe to the channel below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. We have weekly videos coming out now, so if you hit that bell button, it will let you know when and where these videos are dropping. We normally put these up on a Monday around about 8 o'clock in the morning, but some of them, obviously depending on editing, might drop a little bit later. But please, once again, like and subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content that we are creating. Now, in the UK alone, I can't talk about the Americas or any other place abroad, but in the UK alone, locations are grabbing onto the fact that us as paranormal investigators want to investigate certain and specific locations, generating a lot of hype around certain locations. Locations can charge anything in between £150 for the night. I know some locations that charge £2,500 for an investigation team to go there of a night time and investigate that location. Now this is mad, but we need to look beyond that, and we need to look at how we can develop what is a way in which to determine whether something is value for money through our investigations. So I think the first and foremost point when picking your location, you have to come off the hype train. Now a lot of these locations have massive hype around them. Just to throw some off the top of my head, your Shepton Mallets, your Nottingham Galleries of Justice, your Derby Jail. These places are more than cottoned onto the fact that what we're doing and what we are trying to achieve, the paranormal investigations that we're trying to do, is something that is very, very much sought after. Now, if you can look beyond the hype, there are certain things which we need to look at when determining and picking a location that we want to conduct a paranormal investigation in. This also goes for if you're taking public as well, because obviously you charge public, and that depends on the full price, and that's all to do with like working out how much ticket prices are depending on how much your location is and the sort of overheads you've got going into it. But let's actually look at some of the main things in which we need to look at when determining a location for our paranormal investigations. Now the problem is sifting through all the different locations there are out there. Locations stretch all across the UK, from Scotland all the way down to England to Ireland to Wales. The problem is sifting through the traffic that's out there. And there are many locations out there located all across the country and all across the UK that will say that they contain the most paranormal activity. You have to sift through this traffic to find out what you are looking for. Base your location on evidence and research rather than the hype machine that is bigged up around these locations. Now, the first thing we need to look at when deciding on picking a location for our paranormal investigation is the hype around the location. You need to do your own research, whether that be via Google or you deep dive into the internet to find out if that place, if that location is good enough in the sense of the previously witnessed paranormal activity that's happened there, and also if there is enough history into that location for you to then to be able to deem this okay for you to use as your location. Please be aware though, guys, that a lot of locations use like what I like to call a Chinese whispers effect. You know, a lot of people will say one thing that gets abbreviated to another person, to another person, to another person, to another person, and that gives a roller coaster effect. Now, this location becomes one of the most fabulous places to involve. That's had an amazing amount of ghost representation for such a long time that it is literally falling onto that band of the hype train. So please be very, very careful when picking, because the hype train is real. The second thing we need to be looking at is overuse within an investigation. I have a prime example of this. If a location has been overused by paranormal investigations, whether that be your team or other teams that have gone there numerous times, you've got to think of spirits as actual people. They're not performers, they're not actors, they are there in spirit. And if you have an investigation there every single day of the week, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and every single weekend, there is that opportunity that this place could be what's called over investigated. Certain locations are very much over investigated, and a lot of teams are now going to these places and not getting half the paranormal activity that they were having before. So the second thing you really need to look at is over investigation. Is the location that you're currently looking at been over investigated? Is it somewhere that's very popular? Is it hard to book a date? Is it hard to get yourself in there? If so, scribe it off and move on to another one, because we want a location that's almost, not every location, not all locations are going to be fresh, but you want a location where it is very much not been investigated a lot, it's not been overused and not been over investigated. The third thing we need to look at when picking a location for your paranormal investigation is also your overheads. Now, I know that we don't get into this game for the money, but we need to look at our overheads. If a place is charging 900, 800, 850, and you've only got the matter of, or like our team, we don't even take public with us. That's a lot of overheads on our part. So this is why the two previous points as well come into play within this. If it has been over investigated and it has been overhyped, then it's going to charge you a lot more money. So with the overcharge and the overheads price, look at what they're charging you and see if it's overhyped, if it's overbooked, if it's somewhere where everybody wants to go. Don't get me wrong, there are places within the UK as well that are very much overhyped, that are booked out all the time, but they still not guarantee, but they still give you the best results because these places have been looked after. But overheads is a massive thing. Normally, if something's too expensive, it's not normally worth picking as your location. Then again, if something's too cheap, it could be another thing to look at. So price obviously determines whether your location is worth it or not worth it, whether it's too expensive or if it's not expensive enough. So bear that in mind when picking your location. Now, everybody wants that location that draws people in on Facebook or draws people in on TikTok or draw people in on YouTube. When you've got that team goes and investigates, I don't know, Shepton Mallet, Darbit Jail, Jamaica Inn. Every team wants that wonder event, that wonder place where they've been to. But are you really getting what you want when you're booking these locations? Now, I know I've mentioned a lot of locations within this video, and this is not a dig at the locations that I'm talking about. I have been investigated on many of these locations, and they have proved some amazing evidence that I've ever seen. But we're looking at this from the aspect of a paranormal team who are looking to sort of take their investigations to the next level. So when picking your location, along with the other two things that I've said before, the overhype and the over investigations, I think you should have a criteria when picking your location when it comes to a paranormal team and investigating. Number one, look at your previous reports at the location that you're going to. Look at the reports that have been submitted online. Speak to other teams that have been there and look at the reports that they've drummed up. Look at the evidence that they've got, and base it all around this. If these reports are quite often and they're reporting the same sort of thing, this could be good evidence to show that the spirit that they're in contact with or the paranormal activity they're experiencing is genuine. If you've got a venue or that's reporting reports of different things happening all the time, noises here, noises there, movement here, movement there, and nothing seems to coincide or seem to gel together, then this is a no-no in my eyes, in my criteria when picking a location. Now, number two is ease of investigation. Look at the venue and look at the location itself and find out how easy it is for you to investigate. If you've got to trek 2 miles through a forest to get to your location, I would put that down as a no-no because it's not easy to get there. Look at stuff like PowerPoints to be able to charge equipment. Look at stuff like internet, whether you've got internet at your location, because a lot of teams nowadays go live on Facebook or TikTok. If you are one of them teams and you can't get internet at your location, then it's a no-no for you guys. So ease of investigation is another massive point. You've got to look at it, the location, the venue you're about to investigate, and look at how easily you'll find it to investigate there. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There are places that are worth it, that are hard to investigate. But at the same time, if you can make your job easier when investigating a venue, and you're able to nullify the outside impacts on your investigation, i.e. noises. If it's by a busy road, is that going to affect noises that you're going to get? We investigated somewhere quite recently that was right by a nightclub, and you could hear the music going on in the background, which played a massive part in the fact of our ease of investigation. So look at the ease of investigation, how easy it is to investigate the venue that you're picking, the location that you're picking, and say a yes or no from there. Number 3, the third point you need to be looking at is the history of the location. Look at the history and go back of the history of the location and see if there are archived historical evidence for each of these locations. This gives you a purpose to your investigation. You want to investigate why this person committed suicide, or you want to investigate why this spirit is haunting this venue. You can look at this through the history and going through your historical archives and go back through that. The more historical archived evidence on a location, the more it should be a tick yes towards that location. Because obviously, as a paranormal investigation team, you are investigating history and things that have happened there in the past. So historical events do play a massive part when picking your location. Once you've taken all these points into consideration, this is when you decide a yes or no on your location. You weigh up all the facts, the fact of if it's been overhyped, if it's been over investigated. You look at previous reports within the location. You look at ease of investigation, how easy it is to investigate the venue or the location that you're looking to investigate. And you look at the history of the location as well. Once all these points have then been factored in, this is when you decide on your location. I like to do a thing, well, us as a team like to do a thing where we have numerous locations with numerous dates, and then we put these 5 criteria into balance, and that's how we pick our location. Another point I will bring up as well is once you've balanced up your locations and you've picked your top 3, your top 4, your top 5, or you've picked the location that you want to investigate, try and find time to go down there and visit it during the day. A lot of locations nowadays, museums or places of importance or places of historic value, you can go and visit during the day. This gives you an idea. It also helps you determine the ease of investigation, to look at energies within the room, within the locations of the rooms within the location. Just visiting it during the day helps you build that plan. And on previous videos, I've talked about poor planning leads to poor performance. By visiting the venue during the day and going to see that venue, it will allow you to have a wider plan of what you're going to achieve within your investigation. Like I said before, don't get me wrong, there are some locations out there that charge extortionate amounts of money, but they are amazing venues. They are definitely worth investigating, but only if your team can afford it, only if your team have the overheads to do so. Us as a team, we always look at that. We don't take public to events. So with us, we have to look at overheads in a different way, which I will do another video on overheads within paranormal investigations later on down the line. But by using these variables that I've spoken about, the 5 things that I've spoken out, you can remove the locations that doesn't suit your team, doesn't suit your needs, and doesn't suit how and where you want to investigate. By picking a proper location will allow your team to go to the next level within your paranormal investigation realm, I would say. Not only that, by putting these variables into place for these locations that you're picking, you might find that hidden gem, that one location, that one place that your team gets that smoking gun bit of evidence, because you have taken in all the variables and you've planned your investigations properly. So guys, if you really enjoy this content and you like hearing what you're hearing, and we are helping you towards your goal of becoming a paranormal investigation team, please, once again, do not forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell, as we have weekly videos coming out here on the channel. But from us here at Truth Collective Plus, and another video for you guys, please remember, always keep searching for that truth.